And I am Sophie Wisnowski, signing in to Pearl Harbor News.
It is December 7th, 1941, around 9:30 a.m. You are probably wondering what is happening right now in Pearl Harbor.
The Japanese are attacking. The last fire we received was half an hour ago, around 9 a.m.
This morning at 7:55 a.m., 183 aircraft of the Imperial Japanese Navy attacked the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor, where we are currently.
During this time, World War II has been raging in Europe and Asia for 2 years, but the United States had not entered the war. The Empire of Japan was trying to take over as much of Asia and was worried about the U.S. Navy in Hawaii. They decided to strike in order to prevent the United States from attacking.
We are thinking that the Japanese thought if they took out our warships in Pearl Harbor, which they did, that our army of the United States would be crippled and would never attack. However, they were mistaken because attack could cause our troops to fight back ferociously.
The Japanese came in from the north of Pearl Harbor, which was not detected on the radars, which meant it was a dead zone. On the Sunday of the planned attack, there were no planes for U.S. flying, which made it easier for the Japanese.
The first attack wave began bombing the hangars and the Parker aircraft of the island's airfields around 8 o'clock this morning, while at the same time launching torpedoes against the U.S. warships moored in Pearl Harbor. The first 5 minutes of the attack, 4 battleships were hit, including our very own USS Oklahoma and the USS Arizona. Minutes after this, the Arizona exploded after a bomb hit its gunpowder stores, sinking the ship and killing many. We have not been notified of the exact number yet.
The first wave was followed by a second wave an hour and a half later by 170 Japanese aircrafts. Within 2 hours, 18 U.S. warships had been sunk or damaged. 188 aircrafts were destroyed, and 2,403 American servicemen and women were killed.
The Japanese government decided to attack Pearl Harbor after the United States cut off its oil supplies to the country of Japan in the summer of 1941. Japan relied on the United States for 80% of its oil, and without the U.S. oil supplies, its navy would not be able to function.
To punish Japan after Pearl Harbor, the U.S. cut back on its trades with them. Stopping the flow of oil and rubber affected Japan's war efforts, as they needed supplies for war tanks, ships, and airplanes.
The U.S. did the best they could to sabotage Japanese war efforts. The Japanese knew that after Pearl Harbor, Americans' determination for revenge would be at its peak, and the only possible way to defeat them would be to invade smaller countries around them and to take their supplies.
The day after the attack, President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivered a speech to the United States Congress urging a formal declaration of war against Japan. War was declared an hour later, bringing the United States in the Second War and unifying the country behind the war effort.
After the bombing, Pearl Harbor was in complete ruin. 2,400 people died in Pearl Harbor on this day. Of those 2,400 casualties, 1,777 went down in the USS Arizona.
The bombing of Pearl Harbor may just led the USA to join the Second World War.
Earlier, Japan even invaded other smaller countries. For example, in 1931, they invaded Manchuria.
Here is some footage of the Pearl Harbor attack.
I'm Avery Elves, and we're signing off on the Pearl Harbor News.